Friends, as I begin this podcast, this is Frederick Henry, and you're listening to The Frederick Henry Show. I'd like to just remember words from the Second World War, Martin Niemöller, a Lutheran pastor in the Nazi era. And he wrote something to the effect, this is a paraphrase, but he wrote something to the effect, they, namely the Nazis, they came for the imbeciles to send them to the camps. And I didn't speak up and I didn't protest. And then they came for those who were sexual deviants, homosexuals, and others. I didn't speak up, and I didn't protest. And then they came for the communists. I didn't speak up, I didn't protest. And they came for the gypsies. I didn't speak up. And then they came for the Jews. And then they came for the Catholics, and I didn't speak up, and I didn't protest. And then they came for me. And there was no one left to protest. In these our days, we're being told to be quiet, do what you're told, put a mask in your mouth, gag it, stay in your home 6 feet apart. Why are people upset about that? We're upset about that not because the people necessarily are intending. I really have a difficult time believing that any American is a Nazi. I really do. I don't think there's any American that's really a Nazi, but there are people who hate. And there are people who are so convinced of their political or social or philosophical positions that they're willing to suppress others, to put gags in their mouth, to keep them 6 feet apart, to lock them into their homes, using medicine, science, COVID, whatever, as an excuse for dominating and controlling other people so that they can have their philosophical or political way. And so protesting is good. And we just had a protest in Washington about a pro-America protest. It was peaceful. There were hundreds of thousands of people there. They were supporting a particular president and his message, the Make America Great Again message. And they should do that. Because like Martin Niemöller says, we have to speak up and we have to speak out before there's no one left to speak up or speak out for us. Now on another topic at this time, I would like to speak about election fraud, two types of election fraud, actual ballots and the internet or the counting by machine, cyber crime. The one by balloting, and we have plenty of evidence in the past, anecdotal and actual testimonial evidence. The New York Post, about 2 years or so, ran a whole entire article, a series of articles about a man who confessed that he was a professional ballot fixer. You can read that, look it up on the internet, New York Post, ballot fraud. But we also have this other thing called cyber or computer fraud. And that is very frightening. We've just found out that companies like Dominion and other companies have been hired by election boards throughout the United States. I think 960 election boards have hired cyber companies, computer companies, to count our ballots in the internet. And these ballots have been sent to places like Spain and Germany, and servers in Spain and Germany that are not under our surveillance have counted and perhaps changed those numbers according to the desires of the people who run their servers. And so the potential is in our election that President Trump, as he claims, could have lost up to 2.1 million votes because of not a glitch or personal mistake, but because of an intentional cyber program that stopped the election for about 2 hours, or was it 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it was, in order to fix the election and make sure that President Trump lost the election by turning over votes from his column to the opposition's column. Did Mr. Biden plan that? Did Mr. Biden think that that was the best way to go? Did some people are accusing Barack Obama and Biden. Some people want to include Hillary Clinton in there. Some people want to call the Russians. Some want to call the Chinese. It shouldn't matter to us. I want to say I'm a Trumper. I have been Trump all the way. But the thing that upsets me most about this election is my vote potentially was taken away. I believe it was. I believe there was fraud, massive fraud on a grand scale, beyond our wildest imaginations. And we should be shocked and we should be dismayed and we should be angered, and we should be resolved to make sure in every possible way that does not happen, that your vote and my vote is not taken away from us, because your vote and my vote is our freedom. It's our right. It's our constitutional protection. It's the way we stop tyranny. It's the way we in America speak up and don't have an Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin or Benito Mussolini. We use the vote. But if the vote is taken away and manipulated by American citizens who, because of their political philosophies and because of their cultural philosophy or because of their educational prejudices or even racial prejudices, want to prevent us from expressing our freedom and impose upon us, against our will, a government not of the people and by the people, but a government of the privileged elite, powerful, who want to keep us in line and keep us in check, gagged and 6 feet apart and locked into our homes. That should drive us crazy, and we should make every means to stop it. I'm just going to make a quickie here. I think one of the very first things to do is to immediately make it a law in every state that no voting machine or system can be connected to any internet source at all. At all. Yes, we can have computers, we can have this, but we can't have them connected to any internet source at all. None. And let the people read the numbers off the machines and let the machine numbers be called in telephonically. I mean, we can put security in. We can use LifeLock. We can put Norton security. No, we can't. That's not going to work because somebody controls that security. Somebody controls that internet. Somebody controls that server, and it isn't us. Oh, the government can. Well, I'm not sure I want to control the government either. Let's have independence. Let's have separation. Let's have a situation. In the last election when people accused us of having been hacked by the Russians, I was vociferous. I had no knowledge. I was vociferous in saying it's impossible for the Russians to hack our machines because they are not connected to the internet. Little did I know that they were connected to the internet. They were connected to the internet, and they are connected to the internet, and they should not be connected to the internet. No matter who controls those servers, they have the ability to switch votes, and they can do it very, very stealthily and pick our candidates for us instead of us picking our own candidates. Now, I can understand a lot of people running around, election officials, AGs, all kinds of people saying, no, the election is fair, the election is fair, the election is clean, nothing happened, because people, and I am too, are afraid to cause the population, generally, to distrust our election system. It's destabilizing, it's unstabilizing, it creates an unstable political environment and produces long-term negative effects. And so I can understand people who may even know that there was massive fraud. They may even know there was vast amounts of ballot fixing. They may even know that there was illegitimate counting and the like more. They may even know that the cybercrime was massive, but they want to, although they know that happened and they know that your vote was taken away and my vote was taken away, they may have convinced themselves, they may be convincing themselves right now that the answer to everything is to deny, because we, the insiders, whether it's the military or the Justice Department or the election officials or the federal officials who are state officials, doesn't make any difference. We, the insiders, will protect the people by fixing this after it's all over. So we'll put this other guy in, whoever it is, and it's against the will of the voters, and it was fraud, it was wrong, but we'll put him in anyway for stability's sake and for orderly transition of power in America and for keeping the people's confidence in our electoral system, and we, the elite and the privileged and the powerful, will fix it. Well, I don't like that. Hang it out, babe. Hang it out. Put it all out. Put it out on the table. Stop treating the American people like babies. We can make our own decisions, whether it's to wear a mask, whether to keep 6 feet apart, whether to stay in, or whether to go on a bus, or whether to go on a boat, or whether to go on a train, whether to go on vacation, or whether to eat in a restaurant. And most certainly, we can make our decision as to who we vote, and we expect our officials not to protect us and to hoodwink us and to blindfold us and to mislead us and lie to us with the intention of fixing it when they get a chance. We expect them to tell us the truth right away. Listen, you can vote again. We could have this whole election all over again. We could have every election twice. We can have every election 3 times because we don't have to submit to the idea that we, the people, need to be lied to about the illegitimacy or the fraudulence of a particular election. We need to know that, because when you lie to us about the fraudulence of a particular election, you suppress us and you tyrannize us, as well as the actual fraudulent election. I'm going to try to keep this podcast a low number, like 10 minutes or so. So I want to just do a quick number of reflections. This is Sunday, the 15th of November. And the first one is on the million-member march, whether it was a million people, I don't know, but there's a lot of people there, for the MAGA march, the Make America Great Again march. Wonderful patriotic people out there freely dressed up in patriotic costumes, having a good time, walking in the sun. It was cold, but they all got together, baby carriages, children, men and women and the like, all day long. Dozens and dozens and dozens of police people on bicycles, having nothing to do other than to ride their bicycles because it was so peaceful. What a wonderful expression of our freedom and our right to assemble under the Constitution and our right to protest and speak out in public. But then at night, Antifa, criminals, violence, Black Lives Matters, criminals, violence, terrorists, attacked our people, attacked our patriots, whether they were dining, whether they were walking the streets, whether they were rolling their baby around in a baby carriage to take the child to the car and go home. They were attacked by masked people, by people of the night, by hooded people, and there were no police to protect them. They were beaten, they were kicked. A woman with the baby carriage had her child, and she rushed down the street by what was described as a white Black Lives Matters activist by the onlookers and by the photographs. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable, and we have to stop. We have to stop our corporations from falling for the fallacy that Black Lives Matters is what it says it is. It's a terrorist, extortionist, violent group of activists who must be stopped. They must be forbidden to exist. Really, seriously. It's not a political movement, in my opinion. The same thing goes for Antifa. Antifa, anti-fascist, is not anti-fascist. It's a paid group of thugs out to beat up the American people and beat us into submission. And our government now and the future government, after this whole election brouhaha is settled, should suppress Black Lives Matters and Antifa. Why? Because they're terrorists, because they're criminal, and because they're violent, and because their whole intention is to suppress and dominate and destroy freedom, civil freedom and political freedom in the United States. By using political and civil freedom, they intend to destroy civil and political freedom in the United States of America, and they must be stopped. Now, I'd just like to make a personal comment about President Donald Trump. Can you imagine, let's just leave off whether it happened or didn't happen, just for the sake of conversation. Can you imagine being the President of the United States, having rallies of 56,000 people in Pennsylvania, rallies of 20,000 people in other parts of the country, rallies of 10,000 and more in the Carolinas and in Georgia, and then be told that you lost the election when all indications were, in terms of yourself, that up until the election night, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night, you were the winner, hands down and away, maybe even by 2 million votes. And then because of a computer situation, or by false balloting, or by some kind of chicanery or illegality or fraudulent behavior on the part of whomever, you lost the election. And then you had all the media people, the fake news, the mainstream media, the legacy media, all kinds of people running amok to declare that you lost the election when you knew in your soul and your heart and your mind, and those around you knew, that you did not lose the election. Don't you think that would cause a person to have grief? I mean, if that was me and I knew that I had done something, it's like saying, Mr. Frederick, you won the $10 million lottery, but we're not going to give it to you because we say you didn't. But here's my ticket. It doesn't matter what the ticket says. That ticket's baloney. We don't believe that ticket. That's a fraudulent. You're the fraudster. And I said, but I bought this ticket. I got this ticket. It has the numbers. I won the $10